All right. What's up, Ron? How are you up in New Jersey? E3.
Good, Scott. How you making out, bud?
I'm doing good, man.
You, you look like you look like you've rebounded, right?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you. This
Tough
week,
road, huh?
yeah, this week is great. Last week was okay. The week before that, I was struggling to maintain 30 seconds of dialogue without losing my oxygen and needing to, take a huge breath.
Yeah, one of my techs is having that same issue right now. His oxygen levels low. He caught COVID, and he's just getting through it. But yeah, I'm glad to see you get your smile back.
Thanks, man. Yep, it's great to be healthy for sure.
Right? You got a second chance at everything, is the way you look at it. I mean,
Oh
you never
man,
know.
it's amazing when you have a life-threatening event come up in your life, you just examine things and you're like, man, I should probably take a step back, show gratitude for my wife, my kids, my business, my partners, my opportunity, my friends, right? So that definitely occurred, Ron, just so you guys know.
Yeah, you reprioritize. Tomorrow you will be different, is what I always tell people. So,
Exactly.
we're always changing, and you got a little shot of change.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, guys. So for you that come to my trainings, you know that I give people 5 after to get out of their old meeting into their new meeting. I'm very excited. We do brand ambassador training every single week. We're now opening that up to our MSP partners who want to come and partake, be a part of that. Right. We also invite guest potential brand ambassadors, guests MSPs that are considering being a part of our engine partner program with pods, right? So thank you guys for coming. We're going to record this. We post it on YouTube. We drop it into the channels for existing partners, right? So this is going to be very information filled on how we do what we do for businesses to see the value in meeting with our MSPs and what makes them unique, what Blue Equinox does with our MSP partners to set themselves apart in the marketplace, to show that uniqueness because they're on the tip of the spear. They went through the MSP certification, MSSP certifications. They have the CISO capabilities. We can provide the compliancy. So you guys are going to see that. You're also going to see, right, what we did to create this perfect virtual employee stack that allows us to do one specific thing. We don't care how much or how little. We'd love for them to buy everything, but at the end of the day, right, we want to get a new customer, we want to make a transaction, right, and add to our MRR inside of our MSP, right? So if it's a one or two applications, or if it's the entire stack, right, at the end of the day, we don't care to begin with. We're going to mature and massage this relationship to add to it. And over time, right, we will add more and more MR. What I'm going to give you guys today is the ability to tell a story exceptionally, filled with value and passion and confidence and certainty, because that is what sells. Okay. When you can tell a story, speak passionately about it, speak to it with confidence and certainty, it's going to compel the person that is hearing it because it's relevant to their business and their needs to move forward with us. And that's what we want to make sure we do every single time we meet with a customer, is tell this exceptionally compelling story that stirs their emotions because of what it means for them and their business. Because I'll tell you right now, no one cares what we want, right? They don't care. All they care about is what they want and what they need. And when we can marry those two together, right, that's what's going to result in us getting what we want, because we help them get what they want. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If you have a question along the way, feel free to chime in and to ask, right? And I'll give further explanation of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how we open in our phase one audit with a customer, showing you our customer experience workbook, how we leverage stop signs for those customers to become aware that, hey, these are really important things for our business that we need to stop and take consideration of and make a decision of how we go from red to green, right? And then I'm going to tell the story around what makes us unique, our virtual employee stack, go over our pricing, and how we position ourselves to move forward every single time with a potential new customer, to propose and eventually close, because we did such a good job of educating and informing them on what is relevant to their world. So here we go. So if you are familiar, if you're in the Engine Partner Program, if you're a brand ambassador today, then you are intimately familiar with our process, right? And having a fundamental process of how you approach a customer allows you to streamline it, to scale it, most importantly, for it to become habitual, okay? So here's what I teach to salespeople. You hear a process or a procedure that you need to start doing. You've never done it before. Well, you're going to have to put reminders on your calendar. You're going to have to study, right? You're going to have to refer to documentation because it is new to you, right? It's foreign. You're just becoming exposed to it, right? But then that process and procedure, it becomes habitual. Once you do it 5, 6, 10, they say that it takes 21 times to do something repetitively for it to become a habit. So 21 times, it now becomes habitual. Then what happens next, because of the results that you get when they're positive, it becomes a beautiful addiction. And when you become addicted to something, you love doing it because of the results that it brings to your life. In this case, to your business, right? From a positive revenue perspective. So think about processes becoming habits, becoming beautiful addictions, and the fact that you need to do something 21 times for it to become, right, ingrained in your brain where you don't have to refer to the material in order to do it again. So you can see my screen, right? Blue Equinox, we take a free 5-phase audit approach to how we meet with customers. Free appeals to people, very much so. Cybersecurity, a free cybersecurity assessment. It appeals to these customers. So our pitch to the customers when we train our appointment setters is this. Hey, Mr. Customer, this is Scott with Blue Equinox. We just opened up the Chicago market, and I'm calling to introduce Blue Equinox and the fact that we offer a free IT, technology, and cybersecurity assessment. Okay. The audit covers 6 silos of IT. So we're actually going to come in and provide you everything you need to know from a cybersecurity assessment perspective. We're going to audit all of your IT services and technology, and we're going to give you a good, better, best option with a heat map and a roadmap. That's a lot of free gifts for a business to receive, for them to just come to a conversation. Because what they're craving and what they're seeking for is education and knowledge on what they need, because they don't know. They're clueless, right? Cybersecurity attacks 5 years ago weren't even a conversation. Now it's the hottest thing in the market that they're trying to figure out. So we take this approach, right? We have a pre-step that we do before every phase of our audit. We have a during step that we take, and we have a post step that we take, right? Marketing, their job is to advertise and market our services and what we offer to businesses, and then to have this compelling conversation to set the meeting. Well, that's step 1. And there's a ton of things, 1,000 things that goes into that, right? We all know, if we've ever prospected before, that setting meetings, right, is one of the most cumbersome and hardest things that there is to do inside of IT sales. But once that happens, right, there's also steps that have to be done to actually get to the actual meeting, right? And we do everything, every single one of those like clockwork. So we're going to talk today when we get to the meeting and how we differentiate ourselves. So I'm going to do some role-playing conversations here. So if we were to enter into the conversation with a customer, the first thing that we would do is we would use the ultimate icebreaker, which is, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm really excited to talk to you about your technology, learn about your company today. But most importantly, we've learned over the years that the best part about doing what we do is the human connection. So we just like to take a couple minutes and just hear your story, right? Ross, how did you get to be where you're at today, right? running your company and overseeing the IT? And that question right there is going to allow them to open up to you, to talk about the thing they know the most, which is themselves, right? And when they're done, then we ask the questions, man, that's exciting. That's pretty amazing story. How does that tie into the company and what the company does here today? And then they tell the company's story. By the time they're done talking about themselves and the company, the two things that they're the most passionate about and the most knowledgeable about, guess what? You feel like a best friend to them now. Someone that they can relate to and they're comfortable talking with, right? Now we can get into the discovery of what we want to know about their organization in order to propose them services that we have in our portfolio to sell them. Don't do that and it feels like a sales call, like you want to get something from them and they're uncomfortable. They don't know you. They don't want to answer your questions. So just that simple question and allowing them the freedom to talk for 5 to 10 minutes is going to open the door for you to get everything that you want from that person. Now, once we've done that, Mr. Customer, I'm really excited to talk to you about Blue Equinox and our approach to how we consult and advise companies on how they're going to get knowledgeable through education on what they need to consider for their business based on 3 things, okay? Business needs, right? So business, budget, and risk tolerance. Those are the 3 things that we say in conjunction with each other every single time. Mr. Customer, based on your business, your budget, and your risk tolerance, that will dictate what we move forward with once we're through with the audit and the education and information that we're going to transfer to you. So before we get to all that, right, what I want to do here is I want to show you really quickly, right? We've got a customer profile here. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions about your business, okay? This gives us the underlying information from a discovery perspective to go to the technical experts, the providers in our portfolio, and to pull them in as needed, right? You can see here our list. It covers our 6 silos of IT. It's extremely comprehensive, right? Because when we go to our partners, we want to be able to provide to them all the information, right? So that they can glean from the time that we put into the phase 1 so that they don't have to waste time, right? They can instantly get up to speed in 5 to 10, 15 minutes on the environment, and they can come into this phase 2 technical discovery completely educated. But before we even talk about the phase 2, we got to compel the customer to go there. And that's what we're going to do here today. So Mr. Customer, here's the profile, right? Once we asked all these questions at the end of this conversation, what that's going to do is it's going to educate me on where your stop signs are.
Hello.
And
Hey.
I really need to be able to print.
This is really important for you guys to see. Pictures paint 1,000 words. We were all trained as children, right? When we see a stop sign, Doug, what do? What naturally comes to your mind? You're muted.
Stop.
When you see the color red, what does that do scientifically in your brain?
Well, it's telling us to stop and pay attention. I mean, obviously there's a fire. There's something wrong there.
Alert.
The color red psychologically has an impact on our brain because of the way that we were raised as children, the way that we were trained as teenagers when we started driving, and as adults to live our lives across the board, not just in IT. I was a C-130 electrician in the Marine Corps for 5 years. We had very thick manuals, right? Like here's my EOS manual, right? It was 4 times as thick as this. And when you opened it up and you read a page, if it was in black, it was direction, okay? But if it was in red, it was direction based on the fact that a human being lost their life. And that's the reason that that rule existed. So when our brains see red, it triggers us to slow down and to take extra caution because this could be very risky. So using this picture stimulates the brain to slow down and listen because of the risk associated with it. So, Mr. Customer, we're going to ask all these questions at the end of this conversation. We're going to identify the stop signs, which are the things that we guarantee that we will produce from this first phase of our conversation. Otherwise, we will give you a $1,000 check. Now, if you're an MSP watching or listening to this training, you may hear that and say, Scott, I'm not prepared to write a $1,000 check to a customer if I don't uncover a pain point. Well, here's what I can tell you. It's guaranteed that if you meet with a customer, that you can show them a risk that would apply to this stop sign theory. Guaranteed. There's not a business on the planet that you could put in front of me that I can't, right? Show them a benefit of how we could improve what they're doing today across 6 silos of IT, right? And one of those could just be cost savings, right? At the end of the day, I hate to talk about cost savings, but the reality is, right, we all have the resources to go to a UCaaS provider or an internet provider or our own services that we offer and say, okay, look, we got to get super competitive here because I don't want to write a $1,000 check to this customer. So we can go in and we can create a benefit and show them, hey, here's one area where you could stop and benefit your company, right? It's as simple as that, but it could be as severe, right, as them not having a managed service provider in place, overseeing all of their IT, no cybersecurity proactive protection, no endpoint detection, no compliance to the service. Like these are the typical things that we're going to see, right? That we're going to point out after we conduct and go through this survey, right? And I'm going to give everyone, right, that comes to the training our questionnaire. So you have the profile to ask these questions. You have these stop signs to use to point out to your customers, right? So if you're having these conversations yourself, right, you don't have a brand ambassador there doing it for you, you have these resources available at your disposal so that you can use them to paint this picture with customers yourself. So, Mr. Customer, does that make sense? Okay, ask that question several times throughout your discovery, because what we want is we want to get 7 yeses from our customer before we ask them for the business. If you get a yes, another yes, and another yes, and another yes, and another yes, another yes, and then we go for that 7th yes, momentum should carry you through closing the deal. Would it be typical for someone to say yes to you 6 times in a row and then say no the 7th time? Probably not. Right? If you got 6 yeses along the way, you have did what you need to do to create the positive momentum to get them to say yes. Okay, so now, right, we've identified what our objective is from this discovery. Now, Mr. Customer, what I want to do is I want to educate you on what makes the providers in our portfolio unique. Because we've been doing this a long time. Consulting businesses, 16 years, Blue Equinox has been doing this. Right? We have literally sold over $200 million in recurring revenue, over 50,000 businesses in our network of our company and the companies that we partner with across the nation. So we did this a time or two. And this is what companies need to look like, right? So we go out, we handpick them, we vet them, we put them through a rigorous process. And if it's your MSP, right, you can literally say that you yourself, right, have went through the rigorous process to become cybersecurity certified, right? Cloud certified and managed IT certified with tip of the spear services that you offer. Then we go through the list. MSP certification. What does that mean? Managed security service provider, right? We went through the process to get certified. If you're an engine partner, we've partnered with MSP Overwatch to get their badge, right? We've negotiated the software with the modules. You do the training, self-training at your own pace, right, to go through that. We also negotiated for you that we won't pay for that until we close the deal. So literally our partners there at MSP Overwatch see value in Blue Equinox in our partner program with MSPs. They know they're eventually going to get the business. So they open the platform up to us so that we can get MSP certified. The asterisk there is if you're in training, right, that's okay. You're on your way to becoming MSP certified. You're aware. Right? That's better than most MSPs or in-house IT guys. 24/7, 365 scanning of the network to detect any changes in normal behavior and data algorithm changes. What is this? This is an endpoint detection solution. This is a 24/7 SOC solution. It's a cybersecurity application that we as an MSP buy wholesale, mark it up 100%, so it's a 50% margin, and we go out and we educate and inform customers on why they need it, and then the cyber company does all the work. Doesn't take any of our human capital resources. It is a beautiful thing, right? This is how we build our company to 30+% EBITDA. This is how we build our company to where it cash flows and doesn't stress us out because we sold another customer and we got to hire another level 1 tech. Oh God, we need a level 2 tech. Jimmy just gave us notice. I can't keep good talent, so I can't grow my business. That is not the case, because we're going to sell applications at 50 to 70% gross margins, and Jimmy's aren't required. So we've got this solution in place. CISO certified and capable. Ben Morrison, you and I, we just ran a meeting, Nashville, Tennessee, 42 users. What was the thing that they were the most interested in?
Well, he was most interested in compliance as a service, and his response after was he's excited. He's spending hours trying to manage and track compliance, and it's killing him.
So most companies, whether they're regulated or not, okay, do not track, do not have a paper trail for what they need to be documenting in order to show compliance if they're in an industry that's regulated. And even if they're not, guess what? Cybersecurity companies, they're not stupid. They're smart. So if you are doing nothing to educate customers, if you're doing nothing to educate your own customers, right, for cybersecurity, if you have no compliance in place whatsoever, no paper trail, no security applications, guess what? We're going to let you handle that cybersecurity attack on your own, even though you've paid us $4,000 a month for cyber insurance for the last 3 years. Doesn't matter. Thanks for the money. We're not paying because you were not diligent in your responsibility to show compliance. So our MSPs, we're CISO certified, and we offer compliance as a service to our customers, and we're certified on delivering that product. And guess what? If you're a Blue Equinox client, we do it for you, right? The deck on compliancy to take you from chaos to compliance, right? We go through the full presentation with the customer. We build them up so that when we get to the pricing and they see, right, $1,400 for 4 CISO hours and $5 a user for compliance as a service, they're happy to create the budget for the $1,500 to $1,800 a month on a 42 user employee, like the one that Ben and I just ran for one of our clients in Nashville, that he's excited because what we do is we tell the story of how cybersecurity doesn't cover you. It doesn't cover all the bases, right? It covers most of them, right? But cybersecurity and compliancy is a two-pronged attack that you have to purchase both of those. And then you have to have the personnel at the top that oversees the cybersecurity and the compliancy. Well, guess who that is? The MSP. The MSP provides the expertise, the CISO that is going to deploy and oversee the compliance as a service and the cybersecurity applications. Then we make sure that we have the cyber warranties and the insurances in place through approved providers, right, that are going to allow us to make sure that in the event something does happen, even though we've got cybersecurity and we've got compliance and we've got CISOs in place, things still are going to happen, okay? I was on a training, probably a few hundred professional IT consultants. It's not a matter of if, but when. And we need to take the words like prevent and anti out of our vocabulary. There is no preventing things from happening. It is mitigating our risks, right? Those are the words that we say. We need to mitigate what is going to happen when it does happen in the future. Then we need a reactive response plan with the personnel and the people in place so that we can address it and get back to normal as fast as possible. But it is a matter of time before something, hopefully very small, happens and we have to address it. We're passionately educating and informing the customer on the state of what they already have experienced or fear in the future, and we're providing a solution. This is how you bring value. This is how you make it emotional, right? When you speak to a customer. Warranties cover specific things. Think about your car warranty on your car. You got a transmission warranty, your transmission goes out, boom, no problem. Drive in, we'll fix it, right? It does not apply to your engine though. Your engine blows up, you better have some insurance for that, right? Car insurance that covers that. So warranties are specific, right? Like a ransomware attack or employee negligence, we can put 250,000, 500,000 warranties. We recommend including these at no cost. A warranty complements your solution. When we get to pricing, right, you'll see that we're average pricing $267 a user before the cloud solution. If we look at the average MSP that bills $66 a user, if we can get $267, I'm pretty sure me and you both are cool throwing in a warranty for 40 bucks a month. Because that's what we're dealing with. 40 bucks a month for a $250,000 warranty to protect them in the event that something specific happens and they're spending $6,000 to $9,000 a month with us, no problem. Happy to pay it. 40 bucks. Cloud qualified and certified, right? This is just the ability to oversee how their data, right, is stored and backed up, right? It's a three-pronged attack. You got live data, you got local storage, you got offsite storage. It's pretty simple, right? Do you want it back in real time, or can you be down for a day and we put it in cold storage? Those are the questions. How much data do you have, right? Cold storage versus live is about a 10x difference. So you're going to pay $18 a terabyte compared to $180 a terabyte if your cloud data needs to be accessed immediately, right? Being able to have that conversation, look at what they have, build the solution. Our providers all are experts in that, all certified. Artificial intelligence triage. We have a technology that through our partnership with Blue Equinox allows us to triage level 1 support to automatically remediate it. And if it can't be resolved, notify everyone and reduce the downtime for level 1 tickets by 60%. By the time I'm done in the next 12 months, every MSP in America will use Friday as a software in their technology stack because of the artificial intelligence and what it does to reduce level 1 support tickets. This is a tool that you get to leverage with customers to say, guess what? Because of this artificial intelligence, we're not going to rely on your employees to call us. You're not going to rely on my tech to go figure it out, even though I got really smart techs. The artificial intelligence is going to diagnose the network in real time, 24/7, 365. And when a problem occurs, it's going to point out exactly where the problem is down to an Ethernet cable. How many MSPs you know with technicians that can do that as soon as a problem occurs? None. As human beings, we have to go out and troubleshoot. Again, when I was in the Marine Corps, I would have to start with process of elimination, right? It wasn't the gauge, it wasn't the switch, it wasn't the wiring segment between these two components, and literally just troubleshooting through to find the short or the disconnect or the malfunctioning component. Imagine a world where, oh man, Jimmy's down, right? It's the access point because the software is telling us that there was just an algorithm change and the access point just reached end of life. Let's go change that so Jimmy can get back into business. That's what that technology does. Then what do we do to differentiate ourselves? Mr. Customer, if you move forward with compliance as a service, as a part of that CISO package, we're going to meet with you every single month. That's what you're paying for. The human intelligence, the time that we put into doing that and meeting with you so that you learn that you're compliant, right? But then we also do quarterly business reviews, right? And we cover all of your technology, all of your hardware, right? We manage the life cycle of that, right? We show you what your budget needs to be for technology. Then you decide based on business budget and risk tolerance, whether or not you want to refresh those, right? Have warranties on those or not. That's an additional revenue stream that most MSPs don't even capitalize on that we do for our MSPs when they're in our program. If you're doing it yourself, we show you how to do that through our coaching program. And then we take your MSA, we bake in a 4-hour on-site SLA. Customers don't look at their watch and say, okay, 3 hours and 57 minutes, Don. If you're not here in 3 minutes, brother, I'm going to start getting a credit on my bill. They don't do that. What this does when we offer a 4-hour SLA to our customers is it gives us a strong position to present to say, listen, we're going to treat your technology like it was our own. And if you're down and we can't fix it remotely, we're going to jump in our truck and we're going to have a technician out here within 4 hours to solve your problem. And how you follow this statement up is because we know that your business, if you're doing $2.5 million in revenue, you divide that number by 250, and that number, $10,000, is the amount of money, the amount of revenue that that company loses per day. Now, whether or not they lose $10,000 a day or not, that's not important here. What is important about what I just said? That they can relate to the revenue that they're doing, the fact that there's 250 days in a year, and the thought of losing $10,000 a day does what? Stimulates their mind to move forward with what you're here to talk about. And that's our intention. That's our purpose, right? Is to tell a fantastic story of how we differentiate ourselves that compels the customer to move forward with our technical discovery. If you want to put an analyzer on the network, scan the network, create a beautiful report, come back with that in your proposal and the heat map and the roadmap during the phase 3 where you present your solution, so be it. Some MSPs do that, some don't. This compels them to allow you to do what it is that you need to do for you and your MSP to move forward. So then we have an option to eliminate CapEx, to OpEx all your upfront expenses through our finance partners. Most companies don't have that flexibility. You're writing big one-time checks. So we can easily help you with that to lease that hardware. Matter of fact, you're going to see here in a second the ultimate stack for virtual employees, that hardware as a service is actually how we're going to get your MSP to 20 to 30% EBITDA. That number sounds far-fetched and hard for companies to believe, but I've done it in internet companies and MSPs alike, right? When we sell the hardware as an operational expense versus a one-time transaction, which most MSPs are used to, right? A firewall, right? Let's go sell a firewall for a couple $1,000, charge for an installation, right? And then we'll charge a $100 management fee. That's great, right? But what if we were able to charge $299 a month for a managed firewall with zero out-of-pocket expense outside of the $299 setup fee that we charge? And that $300, we went and purchased, right, that, let's say, is a $600 firewall, a $2,000 firewall. It doesn't matter. Charging $300 a month, and now we keep this customer for an average of 8 years. Well, that's pure profit dropping to your bottom line because the hardware has been long paid for and we're charging this fee monthly. We're going to help you sell those services if you've not been doing that. So these are the things that differentiate us. And then last but not least, Mr. Customer, because of who we are and what we do in our extensive network of customers, we have no choice but to digitally transform and to plan and to research at all times, which most IT companies get complacent. When you become a customer, they get complacent. So what I've walked you through right now, I'm sure you can relate to the fact that the companies you're doing business with, the MSP you're doing business with, or your in-house IT, they're not doing these things for you. We just poked holes all in the armor. When we started the conversation, we love our MSP. They're great, right? We get a Christmas card every year for them. Now, man, they're really not doing a lot of the things that you just talked to us about. We can't wait to see what this good, better, best option looks like so we can compare. This is how you displace MSPs. You tell a story that educates and informs and compels the customer because of things that they need that they didn't know, because most companies, they don't know that they need. They just hear this word cybersecurity and they're like, I need cybersecurity. Well, what we've done is we've told a story that creates tangible items that they can see. Oh, that's what cybersecurity is. Compliance as a service in a CISO, an MSSP, 24/7 SOC with a cyber engineer watching eyes on glass to see attacks that are happening. Now we've educated them. Once we've done that, right, now we have them where we want them. We can build a solution and propose it and justify, right, why they create the budget and why they change what they're doing today. So after we show how we're unique, right, we jump into the ultimate virtual employee stack. So Mr. Customer, just really quickly to put this in perspective, to give you some facts, 27% of companies are working virtually. This number is destined to go up with the politicalness that's going on in the world, with the COVID strands that are coming out, right? The mask mandates that are coming. People are scared because they don't know. So more and more people are going to be working virtually. 85% of companies, cybersecurity is their biggest concern now since COVID, because there's an 800% increase in cyber attacks. And because people are working virtually, they're not getting IT support as quick. So 70% of remote workers had problems. 54% had to wait over 3 hours. We've built a stack, right, to address these problems. You can buy your machines from us as an OpEx. We'll put all the software on it, all the security. We'll ship it to your employees in your office or to their homes. If they got a problem, guess what? We're doing the unlimited help desk for them. They open a ticket with us. You don't even have to worry about it. It's a budgetable item that we provide and we do that has zero responsibility on you and your executive team to worry about. You outsource it to us. Delegate the responsibility to us. PC is a service. You want a laptop, a desktop, a thin client, we don't care. You want a $500 machine or a $5,000 machine, we don't care. We will OpEx it and manage it for you. VPN optimization through Dispersive. This is a company that offers an advanced VPN connection, and it markets well. It's not needed, but it sounds good. And we can sell it for 100% markup at a 50 to 60% margin. If customers want to offer it, we'll sell it. Dispersive helps us deploy it, and it is just another tool in our tool bag of how we can educate customers on how we help them stay protected. Armor Point is one of the largest cybersecurity providers in our portfolio that our MSPs partake in because of how easy it is to sell to an end user customer. The difference in a 24/7 SOC and an endpoint detection is endpoint detection stops at the machine. 24/7 SOC integrates into their cloud, their email, their network, tracks all the activity of their machines, their users, their servers, anything that touches the device. You can get endpoint detection for $12 a user. 24/7 SOC, you're going to start at 30 and then work your tier down based on the number of users that that customer has. Then there's a per site fee that comes along with it. This is not cheap. Where I grew up in the South, Cadillacs were the nicest car you saw on the streets. So this is the Cadillac of cybersecurity protection right here. And Mr. Customer, if you're mandated to be compliant, if your risk tolerance is low, then we absolutely advise you put a 24/7 SOC solution in place so that it gives you the peace of mind that you're after. Time Doctor. A lot of companies have a problem with this because I use Time Doctor myself so that I can show customers what it does. Check it out. Pull it over. Tracks your time that you've been working. You can choose between projects. Then you can go to a dashboard and you can look at all the domains that employees went to, whether or not they're approved or not. And then if you want to get really granular, well, you can screenshot their computers every 4 minutes so that you can track those virtual employees and the activity that they're doing to make sure that they're actually doing their job. If you got a problem with micromanaging and the employee feeling like Big Brother's always looking, well, don't do it. But if you want to offer a solution that gives you the insight to inspect what you expect, Time Doctor is your solution. Thousands of MSPs use this software across the country. Blue Equinox has negotiated a special rate for every partner. You can buy this through us, get it cheaper than you can if you were to go to them yourself, which we do with pretty much every technology we bring into our portfolio for our partners. Okay, so Time Doctor. It is optional. Unlimited help desk through the MSP. You can choose to You can choose to do all your IT yourself. You could create a hybrid solution where you outsource some or full-blown outsourced IT. I'm going to show you what those pricing options look like for the customer with this stack here in a moment. Fridays, AI monitoring and triage. Whether you move forward with MSP services or not, Fridays are part of the equation, hands down, because of what it does to give you insight into your devices. There's actually a portal that comes with this. You as the MSP will see your customer, all their devices in real time, and the status of whether or not they're up. It'll show your customers which ones have the most trouble, right? Which ones have the least trouble. It's a beautiful display of your entire customer base and where the problems sit. Password vault, we use Keeper for this. It's the #1 password vault in the world, right? It does a dark web scan continuously all the time of employees, right? If their credentials become exposed, it notifies and lets us know, hey, go change your passwords. It's hit the dark web. That in itself, right, is a benefit to customers, to businesses. And then compliance as a service. I cannot tell you how this singular product is changing the way that MSPs do business. Because what it does is it gives us a tangible item, okay, that we can now speak to business customers to say, hey, let us create document policies for you. Let us collect all your data, and then let us create all the reports around the data, right? In your company, the people, the personnel in your company will track all of that through software so that you have evidence of compliance. And in order to do this, in order to do compliancy and cybersecurity simultaneously, you need a person, not just any person. You need a chief information security officer. And it just so happens that we went through the painstaking process to become CISO certified. So we, your MSP, is one of the few companies on the planet that a company can choose to outsource this responsibility to versus paying a chief information security officer. We're talking hundreds, if not thousands of employees before a company can substantiate and justify the cost of that CISO salaried employee to come on board to oversee and manage security direction for the company. Our MSPs are giving small to medium businesses the opportunity to pay for these services in addition to everything else that they need and get this CISO package. So with that being said, covering what makes us unique, covering our ultimate virtual employee stack that is tangible, that we can show customers and we can educate them on why they need it and it resonate with them to their business. Check this out. Now that we've did that, we can now talk about what these products and services look like to our MSP. Okay, if we come in and we provide no managed services whatsoever, we just provide the applications and the technology, the things that take no human resources from us. We're billing it. We're billing it. If they got a question, we're answering the phones. That's it. In this scenario, we take a 30 user customer and we sell them PC as a service. VPN optimization at $3 a user. Friday, $3. Armor Point, $30, because this is a small business, but yet they want, right, that full-blown SOC solution to be the ultimate cyber protection. Time Doctor, they want to be able to inspect what they expect if they need to. Unlimited virtual support, not even doing it, right? They got internal IT, they're not interested in your help desk, right? They're just here for the applications that they need to complement their in-house IT. Password Vault, $4.50 a user. Cyber employee awareness training, $3. These dollar amounts are small. They're not making a huge dent. But when you put them all together in a package, well, you're about to see that's when it has a significant impact on our MSP. DNS protection, right? Keeping employees from going to websites they shouldn't go to. Compliance as a service. We chose to price this way because the CISO person is a high ticket item. And we want to keep our applications low so that they're palatable, right? So compliance as a service, $5 a user for your company, 30 users, that's $150 for us to do all the compliancy. Now, they got in-house IT. They're not interested in your help desk or fully outsourcing your IT. Typically, if an MSP came along, this would be a dead deal. There's no opportunity here. Well, now there's an opportunity for us to become their CISO. To become their CISO at $350 an hour, to give them 4 hours a month at $1,400, and to sell them every application that is automated and provided by a third party that we're wholesale purchasing and billing and takes none of our human resources. And we just sold a $4,925 MRR 3-year contract full of services that this business absolutely has to have now. And there's $3,675 to help you onboard them. And your average price per user is $117.50, $51 more than the average MSP bills today for products that take up tech time, human capital. This is just getting started, gentlemen. If they want the MSP services, well, now we just jumped to $207.50 a user, because we're charging $90 to answer that phone, to respond to that ticket that they opened up through their computer in the lower right-hand corner. Time is money, and we got to get paid for our technical expertise and capability. Too many MSPs undervalue their service and undersell it. We got to tell the story, paint the picture, justify our cost. You want to fully outsource? Well, that starts at $150. If you're in a market like our good friend Ron here in New Jersey, we're going to start at $200 a user because, well, it's just expensive to live in New Jersey. It's really expensive to hire technicians. And if we're not here to service you, guess what? You're in a whole world of hurt because you got no CISO, you got no cybersecurity, you got no compliance. So we're going to need that $200 a user so that we can stay in business for you. And that, gentlemen, ladies, if you're listening to this in the future, puts our 30-user company that wants the ultimate risk mitigation, wants to outsource everything, wants to OpEx everything, no capital expenses, a 30-user customer that most people wouldn't even give the time of day because it's too small in their minds. Well, they're spending $9,425 MRR a month and a 50+% gross margin with us. Guess what? They get my attention all day, every day, to this day. To this day, I meet with this customer myself personally and walk them through and sell this solution because of how profitable it is to my partner. $267.50. Here's the user per price calculator. 2 calculators here, right? This is for the MSP. Okay, what's your revenue at today? 600,000. You're billing 50,000 a month. You got 500 endpoints. Your average endpoint, your average user is $100. I can tell you right now, this is higher than the national average by about 30%. Most MSPs aren't even this high. But if you are, you go tell this story, you educate your customers, and you take these 500 endpoints and you add these technologies to them, and you double your revenue. And that's if it's a hybrid solution. If it's a fully outsourced, well, now you almost tripled your revenue. This is how you take your MRR from $66 to over $200. And then those mythical unicorn customers out there where you sell yourself and the value so exceptionally, and they're so scared and they want to mitigate their risk so soon. Well, those are opportunities for you to say, Mr. Customer, we're going to need to charge you $350 a user. And they just say, okay. Value is defined by the benefit that all parties get, not the cost. If you sell on cost, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to be like the one of 100 guys that are beating down their door to sell them the exact same thing that you want to sell them. We have to differentiate ourselves from the pack. The way we do that is by selling on value and emotion, painting pictures that educate the customer inform them on what they know that they already need to find out and understand. And when you do that, you become the consultant of choice that they want to do business with. And then the last calculator, plug in the company's revenue, 250 business days a year. Mr. Customer, if you were to go down, you're going to lose $20,000 a day. $20,000 a day. Let's put it in red. $20,000 a day, or spend $9,425 a month with our company. That's half a day a month for you. Half a day a month. If we do that times 12, it's 6 days a year. Can you afford to be down for 6 days a year? Or for 6 hours a year? 6 hours. Our contract for an entire year is 6 hours of downtime for you, let alone 6 days. Because the average cybersecurity attack, to rebound from that, get back to normal with people in place, can take up to 10 days. Do you want to try to charter those waters alone, or do you want to bring some experts on board? Stir their emotions, gentlemen. Show them the facts. Paint the picture, tell the story with enthusiasm, passion, confidence, certainty, and this will lead to exactly what you want. Close business, new customers. Okay, so we got 5 minutes left. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'd love questions. I'd love feedback, anything from any of you guys, right? I'd love to talk about that here at the end. No questions jump out, then I'm Brad, right? You're a consultant in our program. What has this training done for you? Where are you at? What's your takeaway from it?
This is tremendous. And what I've found is, and being new to the program, the number of P1s that I've run, everything that you're saying, it absolutely resonates with the clients that we're speaking to. As we talk through some of the cybersecurity issues that they have, they mirror what's on the pyramid that we show them. And I can't begin to tell you how many times the client has either said, wow, and we didn't realize that, or yeah, we need to look into that. Can you help us through that process? It's a really, really powerful story.
Beautiful, beautiful. David Burton, are you with us?
I am.
I'd love, as an MSP, I'd love your takeaway on this training and how we position ourselves, how we tell the story about our MSPs, the different, create the uniqueness, and then our stack and the pricing of that. Just what's your takeaway from this, sir?
Well, the first time looking at it, I would have to decipher it. It all looks good on paper. I want to see the P2s coming, the quality P2s coming through.
Where the customers are interested in these products, like these products and services, right? Is an MSP, right? When you see hardware as a service, when you see all the cybersecurity with no MSP services, what is your opportunity to start selling $4,000 solutions to 30 user customers at $117 a user with no technical resources required? How's that resonate with you?
That'd be wonderful.
Exactly. And that is exactly what we need to do to build our revenue, increase our profits as an MSP, so that we have the profitability when and if needed to hire more techs, because we got more business that doesn't require techs than we do business that does, right? That's a beautiful scenario. So, okay, awesome, guys. Well, listen, we're 2 minutes from the top of the hour. If there's no other questions, we'll get this training edited. I'm sorry, somebody got a question?
Yeah, sorry, Scott. One question. How can we test this? I mean, do we get these for our own internal use?
Absolutely, right? If you are partaking in account management services with us, you can bring a brand ambassador and we'll go through this whole process with an existing customer that you have to tell the story and educate them on how we've had to level Carefree Technologies up to offer these additional services. And we'll take that $66 customer and we will take them and upsell them as much as they need up to this $267 price point. Or if you want to take it and you want to try it yourself, we'll provide you all the material to do that you've seen here today. You can go have that conversation. And then if you're an engine partner with us and we're marketing and setting meetings on your calendar and running those with a brand ambassador for you, this is the exact process that we will go through in the phase one so that we substantiate the reason for them to meet with you as an MSP in the phase two. The phase two meeting, we will start with the cybersecurity assessment, right? Confirming the technical details that we gathered in the phase one so that we have everything that we need now to quote these services at these price points and compel the customer to move forward. Does that make sense on the process, David, of how you can take advantage of this?
I think so.
Beautiful. Okay, well, gentlemen, thank you for your time. Much appreciated. We'll get this video edited. We'll get it out to you. And if you can make it next week's training, we'll have something just as compelling, just as interesting that pertains to managed services, cybersecurity, and cloud services. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Scott.
Yes, sir.
Just one quick thing I wanted to point out on the sales side for us brand ambassadors. But I mean, looking at this example, you got a $5 million in annual revenue for a customer. You're asking them to spend $113,000 per year on this tech stack. That's only 2% of that $5 million revenue. So just something to keep in mind when you're out there working with these companies and you figure out, what they're at in revenue, and then you work the numbers backwards. You can see that the investment on their end is minimal, 2% of $5 million in order to protect themselves.
Very, very low percentage of revenue. Great point, Doug. Thank you for pointing that out. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.